Hi, this is Lezlie.
And Lexy.
And thank you for joining us today. We're talking super shiny, Light Elegance top coat.
One of the best products in the LE line.
Everybody likes a good shiny top coat, and super shiny, I would say, is probably one of the absolute best on the market. Little bit about super shiny. We have questions and everything, but I'm going to say one of the most important things is it has a lot of shine, which is absolutely phenomenal. And another major benefit to super shiny is it is stain resistant.
Yes. I love that.
Hairdressers
can use it. Somebody said keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Because it's so indestructible that you're not going to have any problems with it wearing or scratching or chipping. So it's very strong and amazing.
Yes, but the stain resistant is awesome. Not just hairdressers, but you know, working in chemicals. If someone's, those of you who maybe clean a lot,
or if you get new jeans.
Yes, that black that gets on them.
It's that blue denim gets on your nails.
Absolutely.
I hate that.
So anyway, that's super shiny, and it can go, it's a hard gel. You do not want to put it over a soak-off system, so it can go over the buttercreams, it can go over the hard gel glitter gels, it can go over the Lexy line, the Jimmy gel, all sorts of stuff. So it is a hard gel though, and it does have a sticky residue on it, so it does have to be wiped. It's one of the things that makes it stain resistant. A tack-free top coat is not stain resistant. It is it can be broken down by acetone. That's why it's a soak off. That's what I love about, so you have to wipe off the sticky residue a little bit. You have a product that's not going to be broken down by any chemicals out there.
You got to seek the squeak, I say.
Yeah. So I know that we have questions, Olivia.
Yes, we do. When was Super Shiny released, and how long did it take to formulate it?
Good question.
That is a loaded question. That takes me back in time, a long time.
It is.
So for those of you, the story is I owned a salon. I married a polymer chemist. His name is Jim McConnell. I decided I needed a line for the nail techs, and so I asked Jim, hey, why don't you come in and make a line? And we were using LCN at the time, which I love to tell people because it was a great product. And so we had our builder gel that we were using. Builder was our first product, but we needed a top coat, a really shiny top coat. So I said to Jim, I said, look, he goes, well, he didn't know the nail industry. He came from the paint and coating industry. And I said, well, we want it to look natural and it has to adhere and all this stuff. So when we were doing the top coat, he developed it, we put it on, we cured it, wiped off the sticky residue, and it wasn't very shiny.
All the nail techs were like, wait a minute, this is dull.
And he said, well, Lezlie, you said natural. And I go, oh my gosh. I go, girl, natural, right? It has to be shiny. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And
like, that's not natural, Lezlie.
I thought I have to change my lingo a little bit to a guy who doesn't really know the girl industry, right?
Yes.
So anyway, we went back and forth, and then it couldn't yellow. Tanning beds were big then. I had to go to the tanning bed and put my hands in it forever to make sure it didn't yellow. So there was so much that went into making super shiny, but what a fun journey, and it was one of
our first products ever.
Absolutely. You can't have a line without a top coat, right?
And you need it to be shiny.
Yes. That's a little history behind super shiny.
I love that story too. It's so good.
It's awesome. Well, those are the days, yes. Anyway.
All right. What makes Super Shiny so shiny?
Well, it has a lot to do with the resins that go into it, top secret, and the photo initiators that we use. Once that LED or UV light hits that, those photo initiators react, and we have the perfect little formula that just makes it nice and shiny.
And we can't give you too much on that because it's top secret.
It is, but it works, right?
But it's the chemistry.
Yes.
It's the chemistry.
Absolutely.
And like we said earlier, Jim took a while to formulate it. We did a lot of testing, and we
evolve with all the new chemistry coming out.
But always. I mean, it was shiny back then as it is now, though. Like, it's always just been the best top coat.
Yep.
Love it. For clients hard on the nails, such as hairdressers, keyboard warriors, etc., would you recommend 2 coats of Super Shiny?
No.
There's no reason to make the nail any thicker, and the thing is, Super Shiny has a little bit of flexibility, and it has not much strength because you're putting it on nice and thin, right? We want to keep the nail thin. So the more you put on, it just makes it less flexible, and there is no reason. So 1 coat of Super Shiny is all you need. Why take the time to add more? And it makes the nail thicker.
Perfect. Peterson Hazel says, I've noticed with buttercream and Super Shiny top coat, some say you don't need to cap the free edge. What are your thoughts, please?
I would always cap the free edge. I think that's also just making everything look just right, so that there is a little bit of shine right there. It's just a well manicured nail that way.
It is, because you can always notice if someone's talking or using their hands. You can always see when that color or that top coat isn't capped when you're looking down the barrel of the nail. And you're right, it gives it that complete finished look, and it takes an extra 0.5 seconds to cap the free edge.
And it'll also protect that color if there's color on the end of the nail, because the Super Shiny does protect your color so it doesn't wear off.
Because it's grabbing onto that edge.
Yep.
Susie says, I remember when it first came out, your formulator is great.
Oh, wow, you've been with us a long time, Susie. I love it.
And Super Shiny is just as great.
Let's see, Super Shiny with added glitters, foils, hollow, etc. Can you use them to encapsulate?
Oh, to encapsulate. I thought you meant in the Super Shiny. I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like if you put down a chunky glitter or you put down foil, you can absolutely put Super Shiny over the top and have it be smooth.
Sometimes if you have a surface that's, let's say, really chunky glitter that's you've piled on there, you might want to do something a little thicker, like a 1-step, because it does cure to a high shine, because Super Shiny is a little bit thinner. But for most all things, you can just
I'd say any of our glitter gels are fine with Super Shiny, but if you're using things that are like gems or really chunky metals or foils, you might want to use something that is thicker.
Yeah, a lot of the foils you could use with the Super Shiny though. So yeah, absolutely.
And will there ever be a Super Shiny with glitters or sparkles in it?
That's a story.
That's a story. I have a drawer. You guys should come to my office.
Oh God, don't tell them about the drawer.
Yeah, I have a drawer.
They're all going to be knocking on it.
No, I have. We did do that.
Yep.
And we just didn't release it. And I'm not sure exactly why. But
we made 6 small Super Shinies with 6 different pigments in it. And I hate to say this out loud because now we're probably just going to get bombarded with people wanting it. But they were so cute.
They are.
And I don't know why did we get busy or we just
What
dropped
happened
the
to
ball.
us?
And they were cute mini Super Shinies. Do you remember?
Yes.
They were minis.
Yes. I still have them. I'll show them to you guys someday. I'll swatch them out. I'll show them to you and then say, "Oh, you can't have them."
Well, we should do like a fun poll. Like I should swatch them, then we could just see how many people would actually buy them.
Well, people would, and it's real. They're sweet.
Yeah.
So yes, it's something
subtle.
that needs to be done. Thank you. Who was that?
Let's see. That was Nail Rituals.
Nail Ritual. You're
Nail
right
Ritual is
on.
always coming through with the questions.
Cynthia says you should definitely do swatches.
Yes. Okay.
Nails by Bunny Bear asks, does Super Shiny cure with a tacky coat?
Yes. It has an inhibition layer that you have to wipe off.
That was what makes it a hard gel, and it can't be attacked by chemicals. So your tack-free a lot of times can be. So it is, and I know tack-free top coats are really popular, but I still say, and I've tried everybody's tack-free top coat on the market, nothing stays as shiny as a top coat like Super Shiny that you have to remove the sticky residue. I just absolutely believe that. They're more durable. They stay shiny longer. They don't scratch as much. I'm a firm believer in that. I know that people like to save a little bit of time, but I don't think the time you save is worth it.
No,
that's just
the 30 seconds that you're saving by not wiping.
It's my personal opinion.
I'd rather have the nails last longer and look better.
All right. Can you use Super Shiny to chrome with?
No,
we don't
tack free.
Yeah, we don't recommend that.
You can't. Yeah, you have to have a tack free. So our top gloss, top gloss will work for that, but not Super Shiny. It won't
So that
work.
is a good thing about the tack free top coats is you can chrome really well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's see. Cynthia says Ellie is by far my favorite gel, and your glitters are the best.
Love that. Thank you.
Nails by Bunny Bear also says glitters are the best, hands down.
Yes, they are.
Let's see here. Is P plus top coat or Super Shiny more shiny?
This is a great question.
What do you guys think?
The battle of the top coats. I would say it's a complete toss up. P plus top coats come a long way, and it is really really shiny. If you want durability though in that hard gel top coat,
Stain resistant.
then super shiny is going to be always number one for me. But for a soak off top coat, P Plus is the best I've ever used.
It's phenomenal.
So if you haven't used it, then
even though we're talking about super shiny.
Yeah, but it's still a top coat that you have to compare it to,
That's
and
true.
you have to know when to use which one.
And what do you guys think? I'd love to hear what you think.
Love it. Vidar's on. He says hello.
Hi, Vidar. Vidar, where are you at in my lives? I've been
You
worried.
ditched her.
I've been
her
worried.
one person
No,
is gone.
I was worried about you. I even told Olivia the last time, I was like, Vidar hasn't been on the last 3 Fridays.
But what Olivia, Angela tell you? That he's teaching.
Yes,
He's
that's
very
true.
busy.
I know, but I've missed you. Is basically.
But
what
you
I'm
know
saying.
what? You're never too busy for Lexi.
Yeah.
That's coming from her mother.
Let's see. I didn't know Super Shiny was stain resistant. This is
Yeah.
amazing to know.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
That's why we do these.
That's why we do these. Yes, it's so awesome.
And speaking of Vidar, he did send in some really great questions. When it comes to flexibility and strength, where in the Lexi line lineup does Super Shiny fall?
Strength-wise, there's not much there. It's not designed for that at all. But flexibility, as I said a little bit earlier, it does have flexibility. That's why the more coat you put on, it becomes more rigid. So there is a little give to it. But as far as strength goes, there's not a lot of strength, and it is not intended to have strength.
What makes Super Shiny more likely to overcure?
Well, this is a big question here. For all of you that do, some people might not know this, you can overcure a top coat. So it gets really, really shiny, and then if you keep curing, let's say you go 4 minutes or something, you think you're gonna get more shine, it starts getting dull.
So it peaks.
Why does it do that? It's because there's that inhibition layer on there. And the more you cure that part in between where the sticky is and where it's cured really well underneath, the more you start curing it, parts of that underneath will start curing more, meeting up to the sticky, but part of it won't. So what happens is basically the surface becomes uneven. It's all, like part of it's cured on top, but not all of it. So it almost becomes a rougher surface, like if you looked at cement or something. So the smoother the surface, the shinier it is. So what it does is it becomes uneven, not smooth. So therefore, the shine goes away. So you don't have that shiny
Interesting.
look. So be sure that you cure your top coats exactly the time that it says. And also, number one thing with top coats, make sure your lamps are in good shape. Top coats are the hardest product to cure of all the products that we have. Has to have that perfect cure to reach that shine. And remember, if you're not, you could be using a bad lamp that's real weak that you got off Amazon. Don't do that. Use the dot. Another thing, remember, lamps lose intensity over time. After 2 years, even the dot, if you're using it all the time, it no longer has the power it used to. So remember, keep those lamps fresh. Always make sure your bulbs are good, because top coats require a good cure. Otherwise, they aren't shiny.
It's so important.
Great to know. We'll end on a fun comment here. I just wanted to add that Super Shiny is the best hard gel top coat in the industry, hands down.
Yay! I'm so glad you guys love it.
All right, another thing I will say, keep your bottles really clean and your brushes clean. If Super Shiny, a top coat gets dust in it, it becomes dull. So make sure that your table's always really clean, your lids are on all the way, and you don't get dust in it. Watch your refill. If you're a refiller, make sure that bottle's clean. Keep dust out of this. That will affect the
Make
shine.
sure you twist that cap on right when you're done using it and store it away.
I could go on forever about
I
Super
know.
Shiny. It's so
I know.
wonderful.
That was so informative, though.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, and they got some little fun stories from the past.
I know.
I love it.
History is so important.
But it's such a staple product in the Light Elegance line. It's one of the best products in the Light Elegance line. It's just an original OG that we'll always have. So if you haven't tried it, call us. We'll get you some.
Yeah.
And it'll change your nail game.
And if you have any more questions, you could always ask. And guess what? We'll be back next Wednesday.
We will. Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a shiny day.